In a small village lived a man named John Bosco. He was a popular rapist, known in his village and beyond. His name sent shivers down the spines of every girl and woman in the village and their neighboring villages. He was notorious for his unforgivable acts, walking around every bush path in the village, looking for a girl or a woman to be his victim. If a girl or woman crossed his path, they knew to run, for his cruelty knew no bounds. John Bosco had lived this way for years, putting fear and heartbreak wherever he went. Families warned their daughters never to travel alone, and whispers of his crimes spread far and wide. Despite this, he always seemed to escape justice, either slipping away or intimidating those who might dare to speak out against him. John Bosco's life became a shadow that loomed over the village, darkening every path and putting fear in every household. Despite countless warnings and pleas, he remained unrepentant, finding twisted pleasure in his actions. His friends advised him several times, but John Bosco refused to change, so they distanced themselves from him. John Bosco always hid in the bush, waiting for any girl or woman to pass. Then he would jump out of the bush, grab her to the bush and make his way. One day, an elderly man tried to advise him, "My son, why are you bringing disgrace to your family? Have you forgotten you are the only child of your late parents? If you want to marry, I will help you and support you financially, because your father was my very good friend when he was alive, before he died mysteriously with your mother. I want you to change for good. When you were a little boy, you were so brilliant. But all of a sudden, you changed. Please, my son, look for a woman and I will help you." But John Bosco replied, "I enjoy what I do. I love women so much that I don't think I will change anytime soon. I don't want to marry because one woman, 2 women or even 10 women cannot be enough for me." The old man was surprised. And so, John Bosco continued with his habit of forcing women to make his way. This continued for years. One hot afternoon, John Bosco was hiding in the shadows of the dense bush, waiting like a predator. His eyes scanned the narrow path ahead, searching for his next victim. Then, he saw her, a stunning maiden, dressed in a flowing black gown that shimmered under the sunlight. Her beauty was mesmerizing, her walk graceful, and her presence almost otherworldly. John Bosco's heart raced. What a luck, he thought, a wicked grin spreading across his face. Without hesitation, he leapt from the bush, ready to overpower her. But as he reached for her, the maiden turned and looked him straight in his eyes. Her gaze was unlike anything he had ever seen, piercing, cold, and strange. A chill ran down his spine as his body froze in place, unable to move. The maiden didn't scream or run. Instead, she spoke softly, her voice echoing like the wind through the trees. "Follow me," she said. John Bosco, unable to resist her command, followed her, as if in a trance. She led him down the winding path, her steps light and deliberate. The deeper they went, the more the air grew heavy, and an eerie silence enveloped the bush. Soon, they reached the edge of the village cemetery. John Bosco's heart pounded in his chest. He wanted to turn back, but his legs betrayed him, carrying him forward. The maiden stopped in front of a grave, and turned to face him. "This is where I rest," she said, her voice now filled with sorrow and an underlying fury. She continued, "My name is Elizabeth. I am an angry ghost seeking vengeance. My life was cut short by my best friend, Esther. Out of jealousy, she poisoned me, and married my fiancé. I took her to my fiancé's house. She became jealous that a rich man wanted to marry me. She plotted an evil plan to end my life, and she achieved her plan by poisoning me. After I died, she made my fiancé to marry her. I want her to pay for her evil deeds, and also make my fiancé know that I was killed by Esther, his wife, and I want you to help me achieve that." John Bosco felt pity for her and also afraid. "But how can I do that?" he asked. The ghost continued, "Before you do that, I will help you first. I will tell you your own story, and why you choose to live the kind of life you are living." John Bosco was surprised and afraid, his eyes wide open. "Many years ago when you were a little boy, you were so brilliant and intelligent. Your uncle was jealous of your father for having such a brilliant son, while his own sons were not intelligent like you. he decided to make you to become useless to your father. He went to a witch doctor and prepared a charm for you to be useless. He buried the charm in the ground and made a proclamation that until the charm is digged out and destroyed, you will remain useless. It was the charm that turned you to a rapist. Your uncle also killed your parents, and since then, you never reason with your senses, but I will help you to dig out the charm from where he buried it, and I will destroy the charm, so that you will help me achieve my own mission. John Bosco became more afraid by the revelation. You mean, my uncle did this to me, he whispered, his voice trembling. Elizabeth nodded solemnly. Yes. He destroyed your future out of envy, condemning you to a life of ruin. But I can help you break the curse. Together, we can both find justice and redemption. John Bosco, overwhelmed, fell to his knees. Tears streamed down his face as the weight of his past and the monstrous deeds he had committed crushed him. What do I need to do? He asked, his voice hoarse with regret. Elizabeth's eyes softened. First, we must go to the place where the charm was buried. It lies beneath an old tree near your childhood home. Once the charm is destroyed, your mind will clear, and your heart will feel again. Then, you will help me expose Esther's wickedness, and bring her to justice. John Bosco nodded, a spark of hope igniting within him. Let's go, he said, rising to his feet. Elizabeth led him through the moonlit bush to the place where the charm was buried. The tree loomed large and ancient, its roots twisted like the secrets buried beneath it. Here, Elizabeth said, pointing to the base of the tree. Dig. With his bare hands, John Bosco began to claw at the earth. The soil was cold and hard, but he didn't stop. After what felt like hours, his fingers scraped against something solid, a small, rusted box. Open it, Elizabeth commanded. John Bosco opened the box, revealing a bundle of strange, decayed objects wrapped in cloth. The air grew heavy, and a foul odor wafted from the box. That is the charm, Elizabeth said. Destroy it. Without hesitation, John Bosco smashed the contents of the box with a nearby rock. As the charm shattered, a rush of wind swirled around them, and John Bosco felt a sudden release, as though a heavy chain had been lifted from his soul. For the first time in years, his mind was clear. The fog of rage and lust that had controlled him was gone. He looked at Elizabeth, gratitude and determination in his eyes. Thank you, Elizabeth, I am ready to help you now, he said. Elizabeth smiled faintly. Good. We will expose Esther's treachery and bring peace to my restless soul. The two made their way to the village where Esther lived. John Bosco, now armed with clarity and resolve, began gathering evidence of her deceit and betrayal. Elizabeth guided him, revealing hidden truths and secrets that only she could know. In time, the truth came to light. Esther's crimes were exposed, and her husband was surprised that Esther killed his fiancée Elizabeth just for him to marry her. He ended their marriage, and with grief and anger, he turned her over to the village elders. Justice was served, and Esther was finally arrested by the police. Elizabeth's spirit, finally at peace, faded into the dawn's light. As for John Bosco, he vowed to dedicate the rest of his life to atoning for his sins, helping those he had wronged, and living as a man freed from the darkness that had once consumed him. After a few weeks of Esther's arrest, she died in the police cell. After a few months, John Bosco got married to a beautiful maiden, and they had 4 children, and they lived happily ever after.